Okay, I am live. I just did a whole introduction in this video just now, but then I realized I wasn't actually live. So, hi everyone. If you are, there's nobody on here right now, but if you are watching the replay, say hello, say hi in the comments. I will be reading back through. Today, as you can tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about finding your community and integrating in Costa Rica. So I'm going to wait till a few more people get on here. Again, if you're watching the replay, hello. If you don't know me yet, my name is Sarah. If this is your first time on here with me, then hi, I'm Sarah. I help people move to Costa Rica. Nice to meet you. If you need anything, you can always visit my website, shoot me a contact. Okay, so I'm using the StreamYard again. So when someone from Facebook does comment, I can't see who it is. But hello, I think unless you were to like grant StreamYard permission in your Facebook, which I don't know how to do that. So today's live was inspired by Maureen. Thank you. She'd asked me today, are you going to go live today? And I was like, yes, I am going to go live today. I've just been extremely busy. And then I messaged her back a bit after and I was like, what should I even go live about? So now so today we're going to be talking about like finding your community and integrating once you get here. Because, we talk a lot about the getting here and all the things that happen and, the logistical things of getting here and being here. But it's kind of nice to talk about actually integrating here, what it kind of feels like. So I'll wait till a few more people get on here. Hi, Melissa from Colorado. Feel free to say hi if you're on here. I really should announce these more ahead of time. Usually, but Tuesdays, I'm committing to Tuesdays. As you can see, I'm back at my house up in the mountain. Let me know how the internet is. How's everything going? I'm going to have a lot of life updates coming your guys' way over the next few weeks. All really cool things. But as usual, my life is shifting and changing and for the good, as always. Okay. Melissa, also, what about how living like there right now in the government? So I guess I'll give you guys a quick little update about what's been going on in Costa Rica. I thought about making this live stream like a Costa Rica COVID update, but I was like, so I will briefly touch on some things that are going on. We have had a surge in cases. I'm not like sitting there trying even to find out why. I don't know if it's because they're testing more. I don't know. But the numbers apparently have gone up. Some areas over last weekend I was in Jaco, and some areas of San Jose and the greater metropolitan area were put under orange alert. So they really, really changed the driving restrictions in those areas. Wow. Okay, good. I'm glad the service is good. Thank you, Melissa. They really made some driving restrictions. So if you didn't already know, we've had driving restrictions for months here. So depending on the last number of your license plate, and we'll get into the other topic that this video is actually on, but I guess I'll give you guys an update. I know a lot of people are wondering what the heck's going on down here. So depending on the last number of your license plate, you can not drive one day of the week and one day of the weekend. So for example, I can't drive Fridays or Saturdays, but then maybe I have a friend's car who can't drive Wednesday and Saturday, or Wednesday and Sunday. So, even numbers are allowed to drive on Sundays, odd numbers are allowed to drive on Saturdays, and then there's one day during the week that your car cannot drive depending on the ending of your license plate. And so what's happened with the areas that have gone into orange alert, they've kind of flipped it. So now in those areas, you can only drive 2 days a week rather than not being able, rather than only having 2 days that you can't drive and only to necessary, things. I even saw pictures that in some of the stores the Walmart, I just saw a picture of a Walmart come up in Heredia, and they had like roped off the clothing section or some sections because they were deemed non-essential. So that's just kind of what's going on here. Again, like I live kind of in the middle of nowhere. I'll just show you guys. Look, I got jeans on and slippers. I'm wearing slippers. Like I'm up here and I love it. But I'll just give you guys a quick I'm in the middle of nowhere. So like I don't really even know. I guess I don't really notice all the changes. But I was in Jaco. So I did, I was there last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I came back on Sunday. And I did notice a difference. Everyone's wearing masks. There are a lot of things that are closed. So I did notice a difference. I do notice no one's mean or anything. It's just, people are a little bit more scared. So yeah, all right. Is it easy to get lost? Because there's no road signs in a lot of places. There are no road signs here. If you're new, if you're just researching Costa Rica, there are no addresses. Your address might be like the third house from the boulder that used to be there but isn't there anymore. And yeah, the addresses. So it really hasn't actually been that challenging because you either have Waze or Google Maps. And a lot of people use WhatsApp, so they can send a location on WhatsApp. You can open it, and then it'll either take you to your Waze or your Google Maps, and you can get there. So I haven't really found not having an address. I don't even know what my address is here, to be honest. I guess it's considered 1 kilometer west of the School of Socorro. That's my address, and then the yellow house. So that's my address. So that's kind of what's going on here. Just gonna take it day by day. I check kind of like the Costa Rica news outlets once per day, or once or twice, just to see if there's any updates on borders. Things are gonna open at some point. My hope, obviously, everything's always speculation. All we can do is speculate. There are some countries that are opening. So if they do have some successful protocols in place, my hope would be that Costa Rica could adopt them if they're successful. So let's just see. We're all just riding this out. And what else can we do? We can get up on our research and get excited. If you're on here and you're planning a move, you can get excited about your trip. Keep doing your research. Just keep daydreaming. Keep having that feeling of excitement, and just know that it's going to happen. And when you guys get here, it's going to be awesome. You're going to feel amazing, and you're going to be like, I'm finally here. So it's going to feel good. That's how I feel after I've been away for 3 weeks. I get back like, oh, I just missed it here so much. Alrighty. So today we're going to talk about finding your community and like integrating into community. So I'm going to talk about kind of some tips to integrate into Costa Rica after you arrive, and where you can go meet people. So, maybe you're at the point, okay, you've gotten everything ready for your move. You know where you're going to be renting. Maybe you have a car already picked out that you might want to purchase, or, you've gotten a lot of those logistics set up. You know how your banking is going to work. All these things. You're like, okay, I'm doing this. We don't have a virus, so we're all on the plane and we're all going to Costa Rica. And then you get here, and then you're like, you get in your house and you're like, all right, woo, I'm here. And then what, right? So, there's a pretty wide demographic of people that are moving, maybe some in their families, some in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. The demographics are very wide. So that's why I do like Costa Rica. We got people of all ages here, which is awesome. But you might get here, it's kind of like starting over again. So you are going to be meeting new people, and you're going to want to integrate into your community. So that would be like, I guess, your expat community and your tico community, like Costa Rican. So if you're new, tico is a word for Costa Ricans, not derogatory or anything. It's super common. So if you hear the word tico, that's just another word for Costa Rican. So here's my tips for integrating into community. So when you get here, I would just say observe or learn about their culture. I think it's good to do some research, learn about their culture. There's some funky cultural differences. Even my daughter's starting to adopt some of these. She's hilarious. She's 3. For anyone who's new here, I have a 3-year-old daughter. Ticos have this thing where they'll say ahorita. It's like ahora, which is now, but it's kind of it means nowish. So I'll be like, Senya, let's go put your toys away. And she goes, okay, mommy, ahorita. Yeah, in a bit. So that's one of the, and that's now I'm just seeing all this tico culture in my daughter. It's pretty hilarious. But so there's just some funny little things that you'll notice. And, some things that you'll be like, oh, that's super nice. And some things you're like, okay, interesting. Which, I've actually discussed a lot of those things, I think, throughout my videos, whether I've discussed driving in Costa Rica or, even when I mentioned some of the downsides or just some of the things that are just maybe a little bit different, where you're like, all right, cool, I can roll with that. Or you're like, oh, I don't know. What? This is different. So just learn about the culture, observe it. And, that'll help, so so you can just kind of understand the culture a little bit better. Another thing that's going to help with integrating is learning Spanish. So learning Spanish is hugely helpful. I know it sounds maybe a little daunting, but it's totally doable. I mean, I moved here 5 years ago. I just knew the word hola. I really didn't. I mean, I took Spanish in high school, but I don't remember any of it. So I can hear my daughter coming. So just, yeah, learning Spanish is going to help you, especially integrate in the culture. At least get a phrase book, download one of those apps, maybe join a little Spanish learning group. Maybe it can even be online. You know, people are so creative now these days. There's a lot of different ways that you can start learning Spanish. But I think as far as integrating into Costa Rica, that's really going to help you. Because even if you know a few words or phrases, I've always said this before, and I've done a whole video on learning Spanish. So feel free to check my YouTube channel for that, about my like top tips for learning Spanish. But the Tico people really appreciate it. They love that, you know, that you're even trying. And they'll even help you, or, you know, they'll help you fill in the blanks a bit. So I can say that learning Spanish is hugely beneficial. First of all, just for getting around. I would say the area where I live right now is, I don't know if anybody here really speaks English. But I'm pretty far out there. But, you know, in most communities, maybe, you know, down on the coast in the South Pacific, Uvita, Dominical, Manuel Antonio, Jaco, up in Guanacaste, you know, a lot of these places are going to have English speaking, you know, Costa Ricans who speak English, as well as other expats wandering around. So it's not like you can be here and you're going to be total culture shock and not understand anybody or anything. I guess that would be like me if I ever went to, you know, some city in India. I would just feel like, hey, what's going on? So I would say try and learn Spanish. That's going to really help you with your integration, even just to negotiate things or just whatever it is. You're opening yourself up to a whole like line of communication, like a whole new way to get to know someone when you do start learning. So, and the best way to learn is just get out there and learn some of your basic phrases and just get out there and try. But again, I've already done a whole video on this, so I don't want to go on that for too long. I think another way for you to integrate is I like to support local businesses and support your community. So if you're living in a community and you like to buy coconut oil, rather than going and buying it from the store, someone around there probably makes it, you know, ask around, or coconut milk. And you can find these things at the farmers markets too, which we'll chat about. Hello, we have visitors now. Wait, where's Sonia? Trampoline, okay, trampoline. Estoy haciendo mi video en vivo. No, está bien. Okay, so supporting local businesses is really, really helpful. I mean, obviously to the community. So I like that if you're going to come and live in Costa Rica, that you are supporting the community that you're in. You know, you are bringing extra money that you can use to buy your goods and services or whatever you're doing. So I think that's one way that you can also integrate. You can get to know people, and you can kind of, you know, when you've kind of landed in a community, you're kind of offering your support and your presence and just being supportive there. Another tip I have is getting to know your neighbors. So I don't know where everyone's coming from, but, you know, a lot of places in other countries, you may not even really know your neighbors. Here, I feel like people actually do know their neighbors, and they're happy to meet their neighbors, and they're connected with their neighbors. They will visit their neighbors if they need something, or if they, I don't know, you know, people do interact with their neighbors here. So, so that's really important. So actually go out and get to know your neighbors, communicate with them, say hello, introduce yourself, whether they're gringo or, you know, they're another expat or a tico. Just getting to know your neighbors is hugely helpful, because then I've noticed the disposition of Costa Rican people, they really do, are very helpful. Like, actually, I was just on my way back from Jaco. I kind of realized that I needed some more steering fluid. What is it called? The steering fluid. I don't know. The power steering fluid. And so, I mean, I just got out of my car, went in, bought the power steering fluid, came out, but I had the thing lifted up, and immediately someone had come over and was like asking me what's wrong with my car. Do I need help? And I just explained that I'm just trying to put the power steering fluid in, and he just took the bottle from me and was dumping it in there, and, you know, was helping me. So that was very kind. So just, I don't know, just a little story, just to, like, that's my dog. Who knows? Oh well, I'm sure it's fine. There's adults out there. We're okay. Um, so their disposition is really helpful. So that's something that I've always appreciated in Costa Rica. So your neighbors, usually my neighbors that I've lived around, have been really helpful as well. So get to know them. And another thing for integrating in Tico culture would be, sorry, I don't know what's going on out there, and I don't think I want to go check. Or another thing to integrate into your community, so whether that's with Ticos or expats or anything, is to go to local community events. You know, obviously things are kind of on pause right now, but heck, when I lived in Dominical and Uvita and many other towns, there was always some kind of community event going on. Usually on Sundays, there used to be this little pool party that they would have at this restaurant. It was super family friendly. They would have a little DJ and people would get together and come. So, I mean, there's always something. You can check like the Facebook Marketplace. You can check, you know, bulletin boards at cafes. You can just ask around to see what's going on in the community. So you can kind of get out there and start getting to know people in the community when you arrive. So, and I will talk about where to meet others too. I don't meddle. Someone on YouTube says I don't meddle with my neighbors here in the States. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, it's different. So here, the kind of the community culture is you do get to know your neighbors. You do go introduce yourself, and you can build that connection. And you know, it's nice to know your neighbors. Okay, so next I want to talk about where to meet others. So I just mentioned the farmers market. A lot of the farmers markets that I've been to, like, so I've lived up in Tinamasa. I've lived everywhere. I won't go through the list with you. I mean, not everywhere, but a lot of places. So the farmers market in Tinamasta, farmers market in Dominical, and even the farmers market in Uvita, people came and bought their stuff, but I feel like largely it was like a social gathering once a week where people came together. There would be music, all kinds of stuff going on. Kids running around, playing, everyone, you know, it's super family friendly. So yeah, the farmers markets are an excellent place to go and meet people. People are open to chit-chatting, you know? So it's not like weird if you just strike up a conversation with someone. So people are open to talking. And I feel like at the farmers markets, you do kind of get a good glimpse of the expats or, you know, who actually live in Costa Rica as well, because they might frequent that farmers market on a weekly basis to go buy their produce. So I'm sure the farmers markets, they do get tourists that come through too, but you will also meet a lot of people who actually live in Costa Rica at them as well. And then I already talked about community events. So look for your community events. We've had some cool ones. I mean, Dominical always had really neat ones. Uvita had really neat ones. You know, even Tinamastes would have some pretty cool ones. I think they used to have like a seed festival once a year. And so just check around and see what community events are in your area. Hi, Maureen. I did give Maureen a shout. I gave you a shout out already because you had actually inspired this topic today when I messaged you saying, what should I talk about today? I didn't want to not do the live. She told me I've been working too hard. She told me I've been too busy and I should just skip the day. But I was like, no, we're not skipping this. So if you're just popping on, we're talking about ways to integrate into community culture and, you know, where you can meet people. So if you do miss this, if you're just coming in halfway in, it'll be available after we're finished up. And I guess Facebook or YouTube does their processing magic. So another way to meet people. So yeah, so community events, whether that be concerts, you know, there's this really cool bar in Dominical. It's called Fuego, and it's made out of bamboo. It's very beautiful. It's very well done. If you ever go there, definitely take a look at it. Actually, I have a tour of that place too on YouTube. That's probably one of my earlier videos. So it's a pretty neat place, and they used to even do like they've done really neat events, you know, live music, you know, the kind of usual events. But they also would do like an outdoor market concert thing because they had a really cool outdoor space. So just when you're here, obviously, like not in a virus, community events are awesome places. There's lots going on. Most of them will be on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you can check around and see what's going on near you. Even if you're here for a visit and you're trying to decide, do you want to live in Costa Rica? Go to some of the community events. Go to these farmers markets. Start interacting with the people who live in the community. Maybe ask them what it feels like to live here, which I'm sure we do get these questions a lot. But most people are super friendly and happy to answer them. So. And can also serve as a nice connection if you're really interested in that area. Another way to meet others, which I wrote down, which I put out and about. So just being out and about, you know, I feel like here in Costa Rica, people in general are just more approachable. So that's the Costa Ricans and the expats. I mean, I'm pretty approachable. If someone strikes up a conversation with me at the grocery store, you know, not unusual, doesn't feel weird. I'm not defensive or, you know, so I just feel like people overall, the disposition, they're more approachable. So you can just meet somebody out and about. I remember, I don't know if she's watching, one friend, she now is my friend. I was at this store. Well, it's called like a bazaar. They have them. It's like a store that has a bunch of random stuff. I call it the random stuff store. So I was just leaving there, and there was this couple, and they just moved here with their 2 kids, and they looked a little stressed. They looked very hot. Their kids were crying. They looked really stressed. But I can't remember. But we struck up a conversation, and I ended up inviting them to something that I was doing a little kids event with the horses, and we've been connected ever since. You know, like it was like, I think their 3rd day being in Costa Rica, and I think they were just a bit overwhelmed. So it was nice. You know, I made friends with them, and we connected, and we're still friends. We talk, I don't know, maybe every few months, every few weeks. So that's just one example that I can remember of just people are more, it's easy. It's easy to make, I feel like it's easy to make a friend here. It doesn't, no matter who you are. I mean, if you're open to meeting new people and making friends, you will. I want to look through some of these comments before I go on my last one. Online chat better. We can knock on each other's door. I love that. We are too far to disturb each other. I'll read through some of the comments afterwards. But I like that they're all in one place now with the StreamYard thing. So my last thing to where to meet others is I have like local hangouts. So, you know, when you're settled in an area, if you're along the beach is a great place to meet others. Rivers, just any kind of local hangout spot. So you might want to ask around, like, okay, what do the locals do? And I should do another video on this, and I probably have already done one actually, of like, when you live here, it's different than being on vacation. So what you do here, living here, will be different than what you do on vacation. So there are different kind of local hangouts that people will go to that usually the tourists don't know about because they're off doing the other stuff. So that's a great place to go meet people and do those things. So, and also, you know, there are Facebook groups for each individual area. You could even check in there to see what events, what's going on, see if anyone else is new in the area and they'd like to connect. That's another thing you could do too. I didn't have it on my list, but I just thought about it. But maybe check more in the local, maybe not in the general expat group Facebooks. But I do see people comment. Like I saw someone comment asking like, hey, are there any families near Jaco? Things like that. So I think, you know, that can be a way for you to start connecting with your community even before you get here too. So I know a lot of you are already in those groups. You know, if you can find a few people, or it's a nice way. Say, hey, I'm going to be moving to this area. But hopefully you don't get all those rude comments like, that borders are closed, you can't enter, don't you realize? Like, ay. So hopefully you can post something and it won't turn into a political debate. But yeah. So, and okay, Doug just said volunteer at local turtle sanctuary. They're usually managed by expats. That's a great one that I left off of my list. Doing volunteer work is an excellent way to meet other people and also to like support your community. So find out what volunteer opportunities exist. You know, if you're here and you're going to be retiring and maybe you want to decompress a bit and then you're ready to like kind of get into some regular activities, then volunteer work is a great idea. There's animal sanctuaries, pet rescue centers. There are definitely opportunities for people to volunteer and get involved. And that's a great way to get out, get involved, get integrated, and support your community. So yeah, big star for volunteer work. Yeah, some people are only on YouTube, so I understand they don't do Facebook. Someone just commented. So I'm on Facebook. So you know, I do have clients that are like, I don't do YouTube. I mean, I don't do Facebook. So that's usually when I'm in the groups scouting around for them, getting things done, because that is kind of how a lot of things get done, but not the only way to get them done. Well, that's all I had on that. So I want to read through some of the questions. Make sure I didn't miss anything. How's everyone else doing? If you haven't already said hello, say hi. Okay, so I already read that question about getting lost. I don't get lost because I got my Waze and I got my Google Maps. Hi, Brad from Canada. Hi, Anna in YouTube. How much do you pay for rent house? That, that's going to depend on where you're going to be. Ashley asked on YouTube, how much do you pay for rent house? That's going to depend on where you are. So what I would do is go into, if you're on Facebook, Ashley, go into some of, like, there's a Costa Rica rentals Facebook group. And I'm going to get a sip of water really quick. I'm sorry. I got like this tickle in my throat. I need a sip of water or juice. This will do. Okay, I'm sorry. I had a tickle in my throat. Oh, that's really sour and sweet. This is maracuya, which is grenadilla? No, maracuya. It is really sweet. Well, normally it's very sour, but we put a lot of sugar in it. So, okay, so for rentals, what I would do is, okay, if you're looking in the South Pacific Zone, there's a Facebook group called Costa Rica Southern Zone Long-Term Rentals Group. So hop into that group just so you can take a check, just to look at prices to help with your budget. And then there's another Costa Rica rentals group as well. Just go on Facebook, type in the search bar, Costa Rica rentals, for homes, and then go in and look at prices. If you already know what area that you want to look in, type in the search bar, the area. So if maybe you want to be in Manuel Antonio or, Tamarindo or somewhere, Atenas, then go ahead, type it in the search box, and then you can kind of see what pops up. Or if you just don't even know, then just scroll through and see what people are offering. That's how I would kind of look at what you can get for what. Okay, Facebook user asks, which I can't see your name, in the area of San Isidro, which I believe is mountainous, are there properties both for sale or for rent that have acreage? Which do you suggest more, buy or rent? At the moment, thinking of buying. Okay, there are lots of properties, and we will do a real estate. Maybe next week's live will be about real estate. I'm not a real estate agent, but I do know about real estate. So it's a buyer's market. So don't ever feel like you need to rush into buying something when you get here. Feel free to take your time, rent, make sure you like the area, make sure you like the community, make sure you like the commute that it might take you to get to what you need. Make sure you see what that road turns into in the rainy season. That's kind of what happened to me up here. I was told, yeah, this road's fine, to get down to Evita, but I can go to San Isidro super easy. It's all clean and good. And it's raining now. So the road to Evita, my road has been completely destroyed. Like landslides, there's a river going through it. So I can't even get down through there. Maybe there's another way I can get down, but I can't get back up through another route. Otherwise, I gotta drive an hour and a half to get to Evita right now. It's pretty wild. So I would suggest renting. Talk to the neighbors. We'll do a whole nother thing on property because, of course, if you are a gringo, if you're coming down here to buy property, there's some things that you want to look out for, and that you want to make sure that you're getting a fair price. It's not all of a sudden bumped up $100,000 just because you're a gringo. And a gringo is somebody who comes from any country. Greetings from Barcelona. Do I ever get frustrated with gringo pricing? We're talking about that right now. So I just did a live about, okay, hi Rusty from YouTube. So that's a good question. So I did my last live that I did on YouTube and Facebook, which you can find on my YouTube page, was about some of the downsides to living in Costa Rica. And I do talk about gringo pricing. The sum up of what I mentioned was I don't mind paying a few bucks more for things, for supporting a small business, for supporting an individual. I'm very happy to do that. If I have a few extra bucks, I'm happy to offer my support. However, when you start getting in situations where you're just hugely being taken advantage of financially just because you're gringo, that's when I'm like, okay, let's pump the brakes on that, because that I'm not okay with. But it happens. So you can't be out here and try and fight it from stop happening. Only thing you can do is be conscious and aware so that you don't so that you know how to protect yourself from it happening. But it'll happen. Okay, any other questions? Ashley says, I've been living in Spain for 3 years. These people party 12 months out of the year in Barcelona. There's always a fiesta. Do I live alone? I do not live alone. Any water quality issues? I had a bit of a water quality issue once when I was in Dominical. Like when it would rain a lot, the water would get a little bit brown. So I just had one of those big water tanks. You just get one of those big jugs that you flip upside down and take your water out, just for drinking water. But that's the only time that I had to do that. Otherwise, the water and all the places that I lived has been totally fine. Tamara says, we're actually going to be talking tomorrow, but this is the first live series I've caught. Yay! Well, I'm excited to talk to you tomorrow. I've been very busy with phone calls this week. That's why I was late today. It's been busy. You guys are rocking and rolling. Y'all are ready to move. So I'm excited. I'm here to help, and I've so enjoyed the phone calls that I've had. And, if you are moving to Costa Rica, you can see in this little thingy right here, feel free to head over to my website. If you go to the relocate tab, you can set up a free call with me, talk about your move. I like to answer a few questions. I like to get to know the person a bit more, just see where they're at, and then I can see how I can be of help, because it's what I like to do. And it's been so much fun. Okay, first time in chat. Okay, hello from Colorado. Any knows if Costa Ricans will be opening to U.S. citizens in August? No news yet. Let's see. Let's see. We're just gonna keep waiting, and I'm just gonna, heck, when the borders open and things start moving, you will have a super wild, happy announcement on here on YouTube. I'll go live and make sure everybody knows for sure. Facebook user, I can't read your name, but the question is, how soon do we contact you before we want to move? So actually, I've had a huge influx of people contacting me now, because with what I do, a lot of the work is actually done before you get here. So I guess I can explain kind of why we do a lot of work before the person gets here. Is, if we work together, our first call, we really go into depth about your move. Maybe you've already picked an area, maybe you're really not sure. Everyone's situation is different, so I really like to go into depth. I like to get to know my client. I like to get to know them. What kind of lifestyle are they going to be living? Answer some questions. Where are the gaps? And then I did finish my e-course. Yes, but the e-course will always be continually. I will always keep adding to it. So people who do the relocation services get free access to my e-course. That's included. And that has like interviews with other expats, medical professionals, a residency lawyer, and then a bunch of information, and then some videos of me chit-chatting to you. And just a lot of really valuable information about everything I could think of in my mind, I put into that course, like everything that I could think of. And then if I think of anything else, I can just add it in and, send out a little update. Hey, this module, this lesson was added in. And it's an e-course, but because I couldn't think of what other format could I put in, like everything that I wanted to, video, written materials, downloadable materials. Like I couldn't figure out how I wanted to format that. So that's why it's a course, but I'm not going to test you during it. And then after the course, I go through and I answer any questions. So there's a link at the end of the course when the client finishes, and we set up another call. We go over any questions that the course may have missed, which is good because great, more information to add always. And then we go over, like, really make a good budget. So not just like, okay, this will cost this. It's like, okay, let's really narrow down your budget. Like let's get real quotes on some of these things that you're going to be paying for while here. So people really know exactly what their budget is that they're going to be, that they can live on. So they're prepared. And the packing list, I do have a YouTube video about like what to bring, what not to bring. It's really, there's some funky things you should bring, some things you should leave at home. So it's just good to know. I like to go through the person's actual packing list with them. And then I do the logistics. So I do a lot of logistical stuff. So I'd be like finding rentals. I purchased a car for a client a few weeks ago. Just a lot of logistical things on the ground that I can do. So I know the borders are closed, but I'm here and I'm able to do it. So I handle a lot of those logistics. So I will even go look at rentals, take photos, check out the neighborhood, see, and then, when someone like goes to purchase something, or if they're thinking, I can check prices and really kind of give an opinion if you're being gringo priced, or, kind of my opinions on certain things. I also hook people up with a residency lawyer for a free consultation, just so they can even know what kind of residency they can apply for, what they would even need to bring with them. So it's like, right now, if you plan to apply for residency, you can get your papers together and bring them down with you, so you don't have to make that trip back. So it would be good to have that consultation. I mean, if you've already looked enough and okay, I think I qualify for residency to file, You can file when you get here. I mean, you can still wait after you get here, but at least know what you need to bring with you, and also know that documents actually do have a time limit on them. But the lawyer would go through that. And then the last part is that I help with is I actually go get my clients from the airport and get them settled in their area. And that's the other fun part. And I actually get to meet people. I come with a phone chip, with a activated phone number, so my clients can pop that on their phone, let their family know they arrived, they found me, we're going to such and such area. And then after that, I'm always available through email, WhatsApp, Facebook, however we like to communicate the best. So I never want people to feel like they're alone. Often they got here and they're like, wait, what do I do? Maybe if they're moving to a community that I'm very familiar with, I can hook them up with a few people that I know, or let them know of a few events coming up or some things, the local spots. So I help with that integration process after they actually get here as well. So that was a long-winded thing. But yes, so that's why you can contact me anytime before your move. I could work with someone for even a year, not that we're going to talk every week, but but we're going to be working together. So Facebook user asks, do I have Venmo? I use PayPal, but I do have some other Zelle. I mean, there's some other ways to do payment, but actually Costa Rica doesn't have Venmo, but I do have a VPN on my computer, so I could probably get Venmo. So yeah, I do most of my transactions via PayPal. It makes it pretty easy for my own accounting as well. Do I live on permanent residence, or are you still doing border runs? So I haven't had to do a border run in a very long time, and my daughter was born here, so I'm getting my residency. So that's helpful. And this juice is really sour and sweet, but it was made from I have a tree out there, so we got all these and made a juice out of it. Pretty cool. And then we have too many of them. All right, I think I've answered most of the questions. And anybody have any last questions before I log off here? These usually end up being about 30 minutes, so I think we're about at that point. But I like to be able to get on and say hello and answer whatever I can. Is Iceland safe? Sorry, I couldn't resist. I searched up Costa Rica. I don't know what's going on in these comments right now, but I will review them all afterwards. So if you are watching the replay, feel free to ask anything, and always feel free to reach out with any questions you have. If you wanted to set up a call, I love talking to people about their move. I've gotten to know so many amazing people throughout this process and doing this. It's been really fun, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So it's been awesome. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching and listening. And I will, when I end it, I guess it'll do its thing and get on Facebook and get on YouTube. Do you think if I book a week immersion now for January, I have a decent chance of getting into Costa Rica? Gosh, I sure hope for getting into Costa Rica. Absolutely. Oh my God, if you people are out from January, I'm going to get a boat and start smuggling you all in. I'm just kidding. No, I don't say that. I'm not going to do that in case the government's watching. I'm not doing that. But really, come on. Things are going to open. We got to stay positive. Just wait it out. And man, when you all get to Costa Rica, if you've been waiting, it's going to feel amazing. And I'm going to be so excited for you. And I am just really, really excited for when people can actually get here and enjoy this country and enjoy everything that it has to offer. But yeah, any other questions, feel free to email me or send me a message on, if you're looking at this on Facebook, feel free to send me a private message. My friend requests, I don't know if I check those very often, but if you send me a private message, then I'll look for it in my other inbox. And of course, my email, you can always find. How much does Beyond Meat cost there? I'm not sure what that is, Michael. Is that like a brand of meat? I'm not sure. I've never heard of it. All right, I'm gonna log off here, but I'm not sure how much Beyond Meat costs there because I'm not sure what meat what that kind of meat is. All righty. Thanks again, everybody. I will see you next week. If you guys have any ideas of of what you want next week's topic to be on, let me know. Like, shoot it in the comments. I always like to take suggestions because I want to be talking about what you guys want to hear the most. It's a plant kind of meat. Ah, okay. You know, maybe at Mama Toucan's, that's an organic food store in Dominical. I think they have like plant-based meats there. So they might have that or an idea, but I'm not sure. Alrighty, everybody. Again, if you need anything, I'm available. You can also get my email off of my website as well as message me on Facebook. Alrighty, bye-bye. It's raining here. I guess I'll show you guys the rain really quick. Now I can move this computer and I don't have to have computer license. What's going on out there? That's raining. And some nice rain. It's time for a coffee. It's time for a coffee and some chocolate. That's what I sent. I sent them out on horseback to retrieve coffee and chocolate. Oh, we got chickens. Where's the chickens? I don't know if you guys can see them. Sorry. There's the chickens. Hi, baby. I know, it's raining. Here, you can say hi. Want to say hi? Say hi. No? Okay. Bye, everybody. What? Okay, you want to say hi? It's just you. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.